Hi Taurus, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, take out the cross spread as always. I also pulled some Oracle and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to roll those astrology dice we have in front of us first to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have two. So for you guys, your second house is Gemini. And astrologically speaking, there's not really going to be much going on there. Well, no, I take that back, actually. There's going to be Mercury retrograde. So that's actually a pretty big deal. I don't know, I overlooked that for a second. But yeah, it's going to be Mercury retrograde in that sign. It's pretty much Mercury's going to go a few degrees into Gemini, then it's actually going to backtrack back into your sign as we move through May. So there could definitely be some situations around communication there. We also have Libra. So for you guys, it's actually your sixth house. At the time of recording this, we're pretty much under that full moon in Libra energy. So of course, there will be some significance there. And we have Saturn. And Saturn is actually in Aquarius, which is your 10th house of career and social status. And there's definitely some Aquarius energy in your spread too. So yeah, there could definitely be a focus there as well. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Six of Cups, and challenging that, we have the Moon in reverse. So, seeing these two things come up, this is Scorpio energy here, so for some of you, this could just be pointing possibly to the full moon eclipse that we'll have in Scorpio around the middle of the month. But beyond that, this could just be saying that some of you might be looking to reconcile a connection, and possibly the challenge has been that you may not have been seeing the situation clearly, and perhaps with starting with that eclipse in your sign at the very end of April, and just with the Mercury retrograde energies that we were talking about, it's possible that you might get some insight on the situation as you seeing things from a different position. So that could be what's going on with that. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually the major arcana card for your sign. So it could just be saying that for a while you guys might have been feeling disconnected from yourselves, if nothing else. And now to see this in the foundation position, it could just be saying that you're feeling a lot more connected and possibly seeing things a lot more clearly as well. So that moon in reverse phase we talked about, maybe you just weren't seeing things too clearly. Now things are coming a lot more easily to you. It could just be as simple as the transits that you had going on through your 12th house that had you possibly not seeing things too clearly. But yeah, that's what I see with that. All right, in the past position, we have the Nine of Wands, Sagittarius energy, and the Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy. So, 7th house energy there, and then we see 8th house energy here. So for some of you, let's say if this is around a romantic connection, right? Because it certainly could be with the 7th house energy we see going on here. And again, like I said, the fact that you guys have an eclipse in that sign too. For some of you, this could just be saying that maybe in the past you might have felt like you came in with a lot of optimism toward the connection, right? And then maybe you might have felt deceived within those connections as time went on. So, for example, maybe someone gave you the impression that they wanted to be committed, right? But then as you progress through the connection a little bit, you might have found that, oh, okay, they were actually just in it for the sex or something like that, right? So things along those lines, and that could have been what made you a lot more hesitant to trust yourself when it came to allowing new people into your life in that way. That's just one generic example of how it could play out, but that's what I see with that. So yeah, if nothing else, regardless of the scenario, like I said, that was just a generic example. It looks like there could be a bit of difficulty with trusting yourself, or at least there was in the past. Okay, in the present position, we have a lot of cards that came up. We have the Four of Cups, Cancer energy. We have the Hanged Man, the Knight of Wands, Strength, and the Knight of Cups. So, like I said, a whole lot going on here, so we're not going to spend too much time talking about each individual card, but I can see this playing out a couple different ways. For some of you, given that this is your 3rd house communication energy here, the Cancer energy, could just be saying that for some of you, maybe someone from your past reaches out, right? And initially you might be reluctant to actually hear what they have to say, right? But yeah, like I said, between an eclipse and a Mercury retrograde, it's going to backtrack into your sign. It's definitely possible situations from the past can come back up. But looks like it could just be saying if that's the case, you might think it through for a little while, right? And then actually have a bit of a change of heart. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe I wasn't seeing the situation clearly before, right? So you might move toward it. but possibly tempering yourself too, right? Like maybe there's a lot of optimism there again, especially given that we see that Sagittarius energy, but you're like, okay, let me temper myself here. But yes, let me move forward and see if we can mend things, right? Let me see. For others of you, this could also be saying that maybe you've been getting some signs and synchronicities telling you that you should reach out to someone, right? Maybe you're not happy with the way things were going between the two of you. Possibly there's no communication between the two of you, and you could just be getting nudged to actually come forward, like see the things from a different angle. And then in that case, we could see that yes, that could be you moving toward them as well, there to communicate. So yeah, it's pretty much what I see with that. And for some of you, it could even be a friendship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection, but yeah, it looks like there's definitely some kind of connection that's up for healing this month. Near future position, we have the King of Cups. So more Scorpio energy here. So like I said, it looks like there could be a lot of focus on your relationships this month, or at the very least, possibly some of you might be dealing with a Scorpio. But yeah, that's what I see with this. Could just be saying maybe there's more certainty in how you feel, right? But at the same time, not necessarily ready to move toward it just yet. That could be one way it's playing out, or that could be the person you're dealing with as well, where they're sure of how they're feeling, but you know, I look at the way that that throne is kind of in the middle of the water, right? So it makes me think of that term alone on an island, right? So they could just be sure of how they're feeling, right? Kind of emerged in those feelings, but not necessarily willing to move on those feelings just yet either. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the King of Pentacles. So again, this is more Taurus energy here. So to me, between that and of course the major arcana card for your sign and the foundation, looks like you guys are going to be feeling pretty good about yourselves this month and pretty sure of yourselves in a firm position. So that's always a good thing to see there. But yeah, looks like it's saying that this is the position that you'll be in. Like I said, it looks like there was some kind of disconnect you guys might have been feeling for a while. We mentioned why that might have been the case. Maybe it was just as simple as those 12th house transits you had going on. But yeah, it looks like even with the eclipses going on and the retrogrades, it looks like you're actually going to be gaining clarity this month. All right. In the environment position, we have the King of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. And like I said, we did see that come up in the dice as far as Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. So for some of you, this could definitely be around the work situation as well. You know, I'm not just going to assume it's around a romantic connection, but yeah. If that's the case, you know, maybe you have someone in your work environment that you might feel like they're hard to work with, right? Maybe they're set in their ways. But what's interesting to me is we see this King energy here, which is fixed energy. Your energy is also a fixed energy as Taurus. So we have Taurus, Aquarius, and then Scorpio there. So 3 fixed energies all showing up, and King energies at that. So could just be saying that it's as simple as everyone's feeling sure of themselves, and actually change course or to compromise might not be the easiest thing right now. Given that everyone is in the upright here, I don't necessarily feel like it's someone stubbornly trying to avoid compromising, just more of maybe it's just not as comfortable of a thing for them. So whether it's you, the other person, or possibly both, that could be part of the issue too, right? Where maybe there is a desire to work with each other deep down, but to just change course from your normal routine might not be the easiest thing for you guys to do. So that's what I see with that. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Star, so more Aquarius energy there. 6 of Swords, also Aquarius, and 3 of Pentacles, Capricorn. So looking at these cards here, nothing else to me that says that you're hoping to move to calmer waters, right? Put some stuff behind you, see the higher perspective on the situation, see what it's meant to teach you, right? And actually get back to collaborating, right? Building something where all parties involved feel like there's some success, right? So makes sense that would be a hope of yours given what we're seeing in general within the spread there. See if anything else comes to mind with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the 5 of Cups. So more Scorpio energy here. Now, the primary way that I'm seeing this play out could just be saying almost the energy that I see in the past year, possibly where there's a little bit of a could have, should have, would have type of energy, right? Where maybe you're looking back with some regrets. Possibly, let's say if you we're really digging in on the situation like, oh, I don't want to come forward, I'm going to let them come forward to me first, right? And possibly the other person being that same way, right? Given that we said we see two fixed energies there. You guys might even come back together, but then immediately you get to that point where you have regrets around, oh, why'd we hold out this long, right? Or even just instead of actually taking action to mend fences, it could just be one of those things where instead you're just so focused on, oh man, it's been so long, right? Is it even worth it at this point? But seeing the two cups standing there to me says that there is some definite opportunity to build there. Now, it might feel like you have taken a step back, right? Because we see with the five cups, only two of them are still standing, but it's still a pretty solid foundation that you guys could build on. Yeah, so for the majority of you, I feel like this is saying, especially given how sure of yourselves you guys appear to be this month, for the majority of you, I feel like this is more of a minor thing where it's just more of looking back with regrets as to how long it might have taken for action to be taken around the situation versus a future disappointment coming your way. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So could just be saying that whatever the situation was, now the timing is actually right for you guys to move forward and rectify the situation. And of course, I mean, like I said, the eclipse axis is basically in your sign and your opposite sign, so it makes sense that karmically things could be coming back around and actually experiencing some course corrections around that. But yeah, that's what I see there. And of course, this represents Jupiter energy, so there could be some luck around situations as well. Not to mention, actually, that in each corner of the card, we actually have symbols of the fixed signs, too. So we were talking about all the fixed energy there. So it could just be saying that now is actually the time for things to be corrected. All right, so moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have don't make assumptions, discern the truth. Okay, it says the problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, then we react by sending emotional poison with our word. This creates a whole big drama for nothing. So yeah, reading that message there, that makes me think of the 5 of Cups energy, right? And where, like I said, it looks like some of you might feel like you gained some clarity this month, where maybe there was a situation you weren't looking at in quite the right way. But the good thing there, I feel like this is saying, between the message here and what we were talking about there is if you do feel like that, oh, this might have been what I did, right? Try not to beat yourselves up over that too, right? And like I said, the other person very well might have been in that same boat too. So there's that. All right. Next we have from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, you guys have Mending. There's the artwork, and the number is 52. So we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. The Oracle's message. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal. The pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now's the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. So yeah, pretty positive message there, and it does seem to support what we were seeing with the main spread in general, so hopefully that resonated. And the relationship message says you've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and honest redress. So, yeah, for some of you, this definitely could be around a romantic relationship. We did mention that. Like I said, significant energies there with the eclipse in your opposite sign. The Mercury retrograde that's going to start in Gemini, but come back into your sign as we move through the month of May. So, definitely some significance there. All right, and the prosperity message says, everyone makes mistakes, especially when you want something very badly. You may come to realize that in chasing after a pretty shiny thing, you lost sight of long-term sustainable prosperity. Sometimes you make choices that look good at first, but ultimately lead to loss or failure. It's time to forgive yourself and others. Don't blame anyone else. You get to start again, wiser and more mature. The journey to true abundance can be bumpy. Make amends to anyone you may have hurt along the way, especially yourself. Forgive those who may have taken advantage of you. Let go and learn from this. You are now that much closer to achieving the kind of prosperity that really fulfills you. Nothing is ever lost or wasted when you view it from this perspective. So interesting message there, because reading that made me think of these cards in a slightly different way too. Because with that Six of Cups energy, for some of you that could represent extending the forgiveness to yourself, right? And with the moon and the reverse position as a challenge there, along with the Hierophant. So a super generic example of what that could be saying is, let's say you follow the traditional career path, right? Because it's what you were raised to believe would be a measure of success, right? So, okay, I'm going to do this career path that was just ingrained from you from a young age, and then you might get to the point where you have some success there, but you might start to question, well, is this actually fulfilling me, right? So that could be what that Queen of Cups and King of Cups energy is saying. Okay, yes, I have this financial success, but am I fulfilled on an emotional level, right? So there could be some reevaluating there, and then you could have a little bit of self-doubt, like, did I make the right decision, right? So it could just be saying, like, extending yourself some forgiveness in that way. So hopefully that resonated. All right, and lastly, we have Mudra for you guys. So this is your Mudra here. It's the Shankhavarta Mudra, and the keyword for it is intuition. Okay, and there's the info on it if you want to pause or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says quiets the mind, turns the attention inward, strengthens intuition, serves as a gateway to hear the wordless teachings of your own heart. So, sounds pretty supportive around the general messages of the spread as well. So, hopefully that resonated with you guys. I will put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always if you want to look into that some more. Once again, happy birthday. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.